Andrew, we got a great panel today, and we start off with our Mavs-centric panel as we bring in our own Jonah Javad, and from the Locked On Mavs podcast, Nick Angstadt. Nick, I know you were there in the building today just a little bit ago. Take me through what your experience was like in this incredible Mavs comeback and your takeaways from what was a ridiculous Game 4.
Absolutely insane. You can see they're taking the court down. They can't take me down, Mike. I'm still here, still in the AAC. And this game was just the stars give and the stars take away. Kyrie didn't score until the 5-minute mark of the second quarter, and then he goes on an insane tear, scores 40 points in this one, and it was really the catalyst that really drove this comeback from down 31 to take the lead with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left, which was just absolutely insane. Luka, you saw him in the first quarter. He was the only one that could give them any kind of offense at all. And then you saw him late in this game just not have enough. He had the 2 fouls early, and then he had 5 fouls with like 5 minutes to go in this game. And so he just, between the fouls and the amount of energy and effort he's had to exert, and that knee, I'm really worried about that knee for Luka to see if he has it. And you just saw him get beat over and over again by Harden late in this game, and the Mavs just didn't have enough energy to fulfill the comeback.
I mean, we were, midway through the first quarter, and I'm already firing off tweets. It's Game 1 all over again, and, I gave it the old good reverse jinx attempt, and it came through. And then, by the third quarter, I was like the Lee Corso gif where it's like, not so fast, my friend. It was an amazing game to watch. And I think as a basketball fan, as a spectator, entertainment-wise, 12 out of 10 would recommend. It's unfortunate for the Mavs that didn't come out with a victory because now they have to go back to L.A. for Game 5. And all the momentum seems to have shifted. And what's worse in this situation for the Mavs is they can't win with Kawhi off the floor. How is that possible that one of the best defenders in the history of the NBA doesn't play? And those are the 2 games that the Mavs lose. And lose it to an extent where they were getting beat badly in the first quarter.
I've been saying this. Even before the series started on Locked On Mavs, I've been talking about how Kawhi makes their offense. If he's not going to be 100%, not going to be able to hit threes, he's 0 of 5 so far in this series from 3. If he's not going to be that guy, that killer instinct type guy, then he makes their offense so slow and methodical, and he gets into his shots, and he takes his time. And so Harden and Paul George fall into place, and they do the exact same thing. And so this Clippers offense that we're seeing without Kawhi Leonard is lots of pick and roll with James Harden, lots of Paul George coming off of off-ball screens and things like that. The Mavericks have to stay connected on defense, and they have to communicate, and they have to make sure they know who's helping and who's not helping, because there are so many different times in this game where somebody would come help, but then also somebody else would come help with them, and then somebody else is over on the back door for Zubats or Terrence Mann or somebody wide open in the corner for a 3. That defense just has to stay connected in this.
Yeah, I thought down the stretch there, James Harden, what do you have, 15 points in the fourth quarter, and all of them were non-contest. When he goes by P.J. Washington on what I thought was the dagger bucket, there's got to be some level of contest. There's got to be some sort of help. And I realize you're leaving another Clipper down low, and it can lead to, kind of an alley-oop situation. But you got to rely on help defense in those situations and not give one of the best floating shooters a wide open look from about 5 feet. So I was disheartened with the Mavs' defensive effort down the stretch. Just looked like there was some confusion. That's why I'm kind of curious to see how they switch up for Game 5, because they are good about making those adjustments, and this Mavericks team is good defensively. This is not your older brother's Mavs that couldn't play defense and just tried to outscore you every game. They were top 5, top 10 in defense over the last 2 months. So I like what I saw for the most part. They just couldn't get out of their own way in the first quarter. Will there be an emotional letdown in Game 5 after all the energy this one took? That is also something to look at.
Jonah, you touched on it a little bit there, the help defense down the stretch. There were a lot of questions, especially from Mavs fans on social media, about the decision to not play Daniel Gafford or Derek Lively down the stretch, and they had Maxi Kleber on the floor instead. Would either of you have wanted to change that, or do you feel like Kidd made the right call there?
He went small with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it's just a long time to go with that small look to end the game. And I think they ran out of gas by the end of it. And to have one of those big guys back there to just anchor the paint, to have somebody to rely on back there, it just changes up what they have to do and how much energy and effort they have to put forth. And so I think once you took the lead with like 2 minutes left, then you put the big back in, kind of play like a prevent sort of thing. And I think Kidd went with that small ball lineup just a little too long in that fourth.
At the end of the day,
Yeah,
the Clippers shot 18 of 29 from three-point range. Regardless of what the Mavs do, that's really hard to overcome. We said that they couldn't possibly do it again after they did it in Game 1, and they did do it again in Game 4. Mavs couldn't possibly play as bad as they did in the first half in Game 1, and they did it again in Game 4. So apparently history can repeat itself, even that much of an outlier.
And the important thing is, compared to a week ago, we certainly feel better about the Mavs' chances moving forward. We'll see if they can bounce back, but certainly they showed the mettle